Hi folks, this is Jake at Canadian Cutting Edge, and I've not done a multi-tool for quite a while. And today we're going to take a look at this multi-tool. It's branded by Xiaomi. It's I'm not going to say their line name, the model line, because it's spelled HUOHOU, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. But it's also a collaboration with NexTool. So we've got pliers and we've got scissors and a whole lot more. So stick around for the review coming at you right now. One of the first things I did after I got this knife or multi-tool and realized that it had NexTool on there is I contacted NexTool to see if this was legitimate or not. And I spoke a little bit with a NexTool service representative, and well, he couldn't help me out. I asked him to forward the emails to his boss, and they didn't get back to me saying that it is legitimate or not, but it probably is. Otherwise, I'm sure they would have told me. And Xiaomi, which is the main company, the mother company for this thing, has a history of working with other companies. Like you've got WeHa screwdrivers that are made by Xiaomi. I forget exactly what they're calling this one. Anyhow, it's a 15 tool plier scissor system. So first off, let's take a look at the pliers. We've got needle nose pliers. We've got regular pliers. We've got some shearing tools here, and those have replaceable heads. Let's take a look at that. So you can replace those heads there. They've got a shearing, and then they've got a more of a pinching thing right at the heel of that. Let me show you still pictures of what I mean for that. And then back here on the inside, they've got another crimping tool. So there's like 3 different shearing crimping options in here, plus the main pliers, plus the needle nose pliers. Not bad at all. I like them. You can get a good grip on this. Everything's rounded over here on both sides, so it's not hot in the hand. You can squeeze very hard with these pliers, and you might get a little heat on the flesh of your palm right on there, when you're closing it like this. So you're right there. You might get a little bit of a hot spot right there depending on where your hand is, or you could turn it over this way and do it, and then now you've got a more round spot there and use the pliers, just upside down. And they are good. I've used these and they squeeze and hold very, very well. You can see that they lubricated the pivot there. I've wiped that grease away a couple times and it keeps coming back. So that means they've got plenty of lube in there, which is a good thing. Yeah, you can just keep wiping it off as it, works its way out of that pivot there. You've also got a nice pair of scissors in here, and that's what this little nail neck is for. So you pull that out, swing it around, and you've got these scissors. So again, you've got this rounded over here, not quite so much here, but this part's rounded over, and you've got this wide spine of this blade here. So it's fairly comfortable in hand, and cutting with scissors usually doesn't require a super amount of power. We've got this really thick webbing here, nice hard webbing, and you can cut through that without a problem. And of course, you can cut through lighter stuff like paper very easily with these scissors. So a little blunt nose scissors. These scissors are 1.5 inches of cutting edge. That's 3.8 centimeters. So really nice. I like those an awful lot. While we have this closed, take a look right there where my fingertip is. That is a ceramic ball that they've installed, and it's a glass breaker. So if you use this whole thing and you hit a piece of glass right with that spot, it will break the glass. It breaks tempered glass, and it's just interesting. So you've got no hot spots, nothing sharp to rub on anything. That's a good idea. I like that. I wish more items that want to have glass breakers would employ that kind of system, so you don't have hot spots on the end of a knife, for example. You've already seen this. Yes, there's a pocket clip. The pocket clip is very functional. You've got the main screw holding it down and then another screw so it doesn't pivot around or move around very much. And the whole system fits in the pocket very well. And you can walk around with this thing in your pocket. It's not extra huge. Yes, it's got some weight to it. It's 8.75 ounces. That's what, 248 grams. So basically half a pound, just over half a pound. Not that big a deal. Most multi-tools of this size and this functionality is close to that weight. So not bad for what I think is probably Xiaomi's first real multi-tool. Coming down this way, we've got a blade. And for the blade, they're using 50 CR15 MOV steel. That's exactly the same kind of steel that Dowstrong uses on their Gladiator series of kitchen knives. Rockwell hardness 56, 55, something like that. And, you know, it's a good steel for good cutting. They did a great job with the grinding on this. What did they have? 18.8 degrees on one side and 21.6 degrees on the other side. You've got this, you know, sheep's foot, you might call it a Warncliffe kind of belly there. We've got basically it's sort of flat and then a little bit of a round transition, a belly right here, and then it's flat again. The design of the cutting edge. And I've sharpened it up, and this thing, it cuts awesome. It's a very good cutter. It's a slip joint so that it's legal in a lot of countries. It's got a little bit of a holder right there. Let's see if I can get a focus on that. So look right there where my fingernail's pointing, and it flexes up a bit, you know, and it comes back down and holds the blade in place. So it's a good knife that cuts very, very well. Now, a lot of people would like a liner lock on here that would make it better. Now, that would work in North America, but there's a whole lot of countries that don't want locking blades. They allow people to carry stuff with slip joints, but they don't like to have locking blades out in the public. So that's why they made it that way. Here's a saw blade, and this one does have a liner lock right there. So as you can see the lock, you push it in to release the lock, and it's got a nice early lockup. Let's focus again. We got a nice early lockup on there. So lockup is nice and solid. And this saw, you know, it's thinner on the spine than it is on the edge, and that makes it a very good cutting thing because it doesn't bind. So saws where the spine is as wide as the kerf of the teeth here tends to bind, but this thing doesn't. Really, really good that way. We've got, what is it? What did I count? About 12 teeth per square inch, 12 teeth per linear inch. That's 6 on each side because it's trying to cut a smooth edge on both sides. And, you know, it just works very, very well. They didn't say what kind of steel they must say somewhere. I forget. I didn't write down the steel that they have on the saw blade. So is that everything? No, that's not everything. That's just half of the stuff on here. You've got 3 sets of tools down here yet. You've got this standard flat driver and bottle opener. And behind that, you've got a can opener with a wire stripper right here. And that's a nice sharp wire stripper right there. Let me show you a picture of it. And lastly, you have this tool here, which is a flat Phillips. And I think it's a number 3 Phillips. Might be. I don't think it's a number 2. I think it's a flat number 3 Phillips. And works really well. And then you've got this ripper as well, or gut hook, or whatever you want to call it. And that comes very sharp from the factory as well. So that covers all of the tools in here. What do I think of this thing? All in all, I think this thing is awesome. I got this from Banggood. They've given me a 20% off coupon code to give to you guys. So down below in the links, there is the link to go buy this and a 20% off coupon code that you can use to get a discount. So normally it's $49.55 US. With the 20% off, you can get it for $39.64. And I think you're getting an awful lot for your money. You know, there's other brands that are much more popular that have been around for a long time, and their prices aren't all that much more than this. But for this amount of money, you get less tools. And I think that Xiaomi has done a very good job building this, along with NexTool. NexTool does not make shabby stuff. They make some really good stuff. And so this collaboration has given us a very good product. I very, very much wanted something that has pliers and a good pair of scissors. People that don't have a good pair of scissors don't realize how good it is to have a good pair of scissors. And so they come in very, very handy for an awful lot of stuff. And that's the main reason why I chose to review this system. And there you go. That's it for this thing. Thanks for watching. Thanks to my Patreon supporters for sponsoring Canadian Cutting Edge. You guys are awesome. Remember, guys, always cut towards your chum, not your thumb.